Right. Podcast jacket. Check. You guys know what time it is. I know you know. Hello all, I am Nate Sampson and I welcome you to this week's episode of Marketing Through the Lens, empowering you, the online community, to craft better video content online. And if you're currently creating video content, let's see it. Drop a link in the comments. And I want to mention my favorite video and video creator on next week's podcast episode. So today's topic is your brand identity, defining and building a loyal community around your brand. So now I'm sure you're asking yourself, what is this guy talking about, building a community around your brand? What I mean is that you're building a culture around your business by assembling a group of avid supporters who are just as passionate about what your brand does for them as you are. But you have to have inspiring and informative content that is consistent with your branding to get your community engaged and interacting. P.S. This does not mean that you're corralling all your prospects together to bombard them with your sales pitch or automated email campaign. Keep it social, not salesy, as I discussed in my last podcast episode. So why is building a community around your brand so important, particularly for small business owners? For one, it can help you establish your brand loyalty. When people feel like they're part of your community, they're more likely to support your brand and become an advocate for your business. Word of mouth marketing is incredibly powerful and perhaps one of the greatest ways to find others who can align with your brand identity within this community of like-minded people. So now you're probably like, yeah, I get the community thing, but what the heck is BRANDdentity? And no, I'm not just making up words, but yeah, I just made that word up, right? Clever, huh? But for good reason. Your brand identity is how you define the culture of your brand through your messaging and unique collection of values and visuals, including video content that inspires purpose and passion to your community of supporters. So choose perhaps one of the most famous brands, Nike, for example, who have built a huge community around their brand identity. And if you haven't figured it out just yet, Nike's brand identity isn't just their slogan, just do it. It's how they visually present this concept within their marketing. This includes those awesome videos of athletes in slow-mo just doing it by training hard, drenched in sweat, veins bulging, just pushing for that final rep. Yeah, I've been there. But most importantly, showcasing these athletes being the best versions of themselves as it relates to sports and fitness. This goes to showcase the fact that you may be buying shoes, hats, or other apparel from Nike, but that's not what they're selling you. They're selling you a mindset and a lifestyle of the athlete that gives their audience something to relate to. When developing your brand identity, be like Nike and sell the dreams and aspirations of your audience, not what you've got hanging on the clothing rack for 30% off. Valid for today only, by the way. Yeah, yikes. If Nike had led their marketing campaign talking about deep discounts or what type of fabric or zippers they use on their clothing, they probably wouldn't be anywhere close to the brand they are today. So when you get that urge to regurgitate your sales pitch with your online video content, just be like Nike and just don't do it. So now that we've established what a brand identity is, and by building a community around your brand is so important, let's talk about some practical ways that you can do just that with your online audience through the use of video content. As I mentioned previously, you should have the answer to these questions before moving on. What do you and your business stand for? What are your values that people can relate to? And what can they be in support of? And what makes you and your business unique? Once you have asked and answered these questions for yourself, you can start to attract people and build a community around those who share those same values and interests. You're creating an inspiring culture around your brand. So in practice, one great way to attract people to your brand is through the use of a strategic video campaign within groups and forums within social media. Platforms like Facebook and LinkedIn actually allow you to create a group where like-minded users can ask questions and engage with each other. These groups can focus around topics and ideas relevant to your business values and unique perspectives within your industry. This can be an incredibly powerful tool for building a community that will rally in support of your brand when done properly. And now you're putting great use to, what's that word again? Your brand identity. As with any video marketing campaign, the key is to be consistent, ask sincere questions, and authentically engage with your group members. Social media is not a one-way street where you post, and expect everyone to react to you. People expect you to engage them as well and be conversation just like you would in the real world. Respond to comments, share some good information that your users have posted, and ask for feedback to help keep your community growing and your users impassioned to be a part of it. So having put all of this into practice, you're now well on your way to building your brand identity to entice a community of engaged participants to rally around your brand. Again, and you'll hear me say it often, the key is to be authentic and consistent with you and your brand and how you're talking about your brand, and to always engage with your community on a regular basis. So as you can see, understanding your brand identity and building that community around your brand can be incredibly powerful for small businesses. Not only does it offer an avenue for prospective clients or customers to engage and ask relevant questions to you and among themselves, it also helps you to establish credibility with your audience and build a brand loyalty around your business. That's all for today's episode on Your Brand Identity, building a loyal community around your brand. Please reach out to this guy with your questions, comments, or complaints and grievances, and I can always schedule a time to make myself available to chat. You can reach me on all the social media platforms, all the channels that are linked on my channel, socialprovideo.com. Thanks for tuning in, and I, Nate Sampson, will be back next week with another incredibly valuable episode of Marketing Through the Lens. Now you get in front of the lens and link your videos in the comments. I want to see how you're representing your brand identity to the world. And I want to give you a shout out next week for my favorite video and creator on next week's podcast. So we'll see you on the other side of the lens.